The Joker is one of the most enigmatic and iconic villains in the history of superheroes. There are different versions of him, some very interesting and others quite terrifying. The dynamic between Batman and the Joker is complicated, as there is a certain psychological dependence of the clown on the bat. It seems that one could not exist without the other. However, when Batman loses his life because of Flash, everything changes, and Batman's mother becomes the female Joker. In this video, we will be looking at the story of Martha Wayne, and her transformation into the female Joker, and how we might see her in the next Flash movie. So if you want to know more about the DC Universe, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to The Oasis Geek. The female Joker is a character driven by hate, pain and madness. According to the clown's philosophy, it only takes one bad day to turn a sane person into an insane killer, and that's exactly what happens with the female Joker. She went through such a bad day that it turned her into something we could have never imagined. But first let's start with the beginning of her story. Bruce Wayne's story is a pretty tragic one. Bruce became the vigilante of Gotham, not because he wanted to. We can say that Bruce Wayne is a vigilante, after suffering psychological trauma due to the loss of his parents. To understand what happened to the story of Bruce's mother, we must transport ourselves to Flashpoint. Also known as the Flashpoint Paradox. Barry Allen, or Flash, is a young man whose mother also lost her life when he was just a child, creating a void in his life that was never filled. Barry grew up with an adoptive family who loved him, but he always felt sad that he was unable to save his mother. In the last Justice League movie, we saw how Flash stopped time and turned it back, thus saving humanity from destruction. We can say that in this timeline, happens to be the moment when Barry discovers that he can travel in time, and what follows in his story is something horrible. We know that the next Flash movie will be about Flashpoint, about what happens when the timeline is changed because of Barry. This is where this mysterious character comes in. When Flash realizes he can save everyone, he decides to do something that changes the world completely, travel back in time and save his mother. By doing this, he avoids his appearance as Flash and affects the entire universe, splitting the past, present and future. By this single change, Flash created an explosion of events across the entire timeline. By preventing his mother from dying, what Barry causes is literally the apocalypse, because without the Flash's existence, humanity would be lost. But Barry not only changed his own timeline, he caused Batman's story to happen differently. In one of the stories, we can see how Flash tries to solve the problem he has created by transporting himself to Gotham in search of Batman. But the version he finds of Batman is a completely different one. It is a Batman who uses weapons and fights a female Joker. Subsequently, the terrible truth is revealed. Flash caused Bruce's story to not only happen differently, but created a new villain. When Barry traveled back in time and saved his mother, he caused the thief who would end the lives of the Waynes to kill Bruce instead of killing Bruce's parents. In other words, Batman never grew up, and his parents lived the trauma of losing their only son. This is where the story begins to get complicated. Bruce's father begins to search for the person responsible for the death of his son, and becomes a vigilante. He begins to fight for justice, but still holds a lot of hatred for what happened to his son. Thomas becomes Batman, but unlike Bruce, Thomas uses guns and kills criminals. He is a much more dangerous version of Batman, which we saw in the Flashpoint animated movie, ending Reverse Flash's life with one shot. But what does this have to do with the female Joker? As we know, the Joker is Batman's counterpart, but Flash changed history by changing one small detail of Batman's life. As Thomas became Batman many years earlier than he was supposed to, it paved the way for the rise of his own Joker. In Flashpoint, We are shown a scene in which Bruce's mother Martha can be seen with Bruce bleeding in her arms. Thomas Wayne watches them, and at this moment the female Joker is born. Just as you are seeing it. The female Joker is actually Batman's mother, Martha Wayne. You can see how her crying slowly transforms into a macabre laughter. Martha's mind becomes completely corrupted from being the wife of a Gotham millionaire politician, to the most dangerous criminal. Only one person can stop her, and that is Batman, ironically, her own husband Thomas Wayne. Now, this brings us to the new Flash movie, which will be released on June 16, 2023. In it, we will see Barry change the timeline to save his mother, and we will also see the end of the Snyderverse. Amidst all the expectations about this movie, I think the most disturbing idea about this one is the possibility that Martha will be shown as the female Joker, and Bruce's father as a more violent version of Batman. We know that many versions of our favorite characters are confirmed. If Martha Joker were to appear in the film, it would be an interesting twist, as they could show us the Batman of Snyderverse meeting this version of his mother, which would certainly be something quite disturbing. It would be a way to close the story of Ben Affleck's Batman, and bring in a new Batman. In my opinion, the story of Martha Wayne, or Martha Joker, deserves its own movie, as we could further explore how the trauma of losing a loved one ends up destroying a person's mind, and how it leads them down a path of no return into madness. Although the Flash movie doesn't have Flashpoint in its title, when its production started they refer to it as Flashpoint, and based on the news and scenes we've seen, we know it will follow its story. All that remains to be seen is whether we'll see the Waynes as in that version of the timeline. However, since DC is now under James Gunn, the female Joker's story might not be shown, as it is considered too disturbing for the viewers. But tell me, what do you think about Martha, the female Joker? Would you like to see her on the big screen? Do you think we will see her in the Flash movie? And for more videos from the DC Universe, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on The Oasis Geek.